Hey, folks, Lindsey Huddleston back in the building. Another SPS Mental Health Moment. I say it time and time again. I'm so happy with this platform. I get to connect with some great people. I get to connect with my guy, Mr. Trey Adams. If you look in the corner, it may say Eric Adams. You're like, who is Eric Adams? But for the record, we got to reveal that is his first name. It is Eric Trey Adams. But we good, though. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. Appreciate you hitting me up, man.
Always, man. I appreciate you. And in this capacity, we have you on as the assistant coach for Everett boys basketball team, a very able-bodied assistant coach. And I got to admit, man, you were one of the people I had in mind. I got to give shout-out to the assistant coaches out here making it happen. I had your brother on yesterday, Keith A. Tate, talking about his great book, Black Fatherhood. And,
yeah, that's my guy. I got the book going.
Oh, yeah, he's doing it. And he's assistant coach over at Waverly. I'm going to catch up with Justin Christian, assistant coach over at Eastern later. You guys have been doing a great job in this area. But let's just talk about who Trey is, or Eric, however way you want to put it, for the people who are like, you're going to get some call. I didn't know that was you.
Yeah, you already know. You know it's coming. So they find out like I said, man, I have people that went to school with me all through high school who don't know my first name is Eric, so it's all cool.
That's okay. That's okay. So tell us who you are, what your journey has been, and what has got you to this point right now.
Okay. Well, like I said, Trey Eric, Lansing guy, went and played for Everett for, Johnny Jones. Went to school, played ball a little bit here, a couple smaller schools for a second. Got into coaching early. As I was in college, I coached the middle school team at the White Ridge. Did some elementary coaching. And even now I coach the middle school at Everett because, they got the 7th and 8th graders in the high school. And then, I jumped on as an assistant with KC as, with the varsity boys. And it's just putting in the work, man. And being a person that, when people think about someone to contact or reach out to, my name, just being a good presence around in people's lives and being around and always kind of being a good person and being relatable. I just like to leave good vibes around people where they be like, oh, what about Trey? You think about Trey? Or let's see what Trey thinks, So I just like being one of them people that people think of first when they think of reaching out to people.
Wow, man, that's a great, introduction about who you are. I just think about meeting you over time, me being originally from Detroit and being here some 20 years, and you one of the people I would always see in the community. And to your point, you've always had a positive vibe. We've always been able to meet and dap. We got to get out there on the court and mix it up a little bit and get the runs in, whatnot, and always have a good time. So, the reason I wanted to kind of emphasize your role as an assistant coach, because, everybody's about their hustle. Everybody's about their come up. Everyone wants to make a move. And I noticed you said something about putting in the work. But talk about how important it is for our listeners, for those who want to, get somewhere and be somewhere, because the assistant coach role isn't the head job. You don't call the time out sometimes. You don't make those final decisions. So talk about putting in the work and being okay in the role you are until whatever opportunity presents itself.
Well, like hoop is something like you would do, or I would do, for free. It's something I've been doing since 4 or 5 years old. And a lot of times people just want to get to whatever spot it in whatever field or whatever they're doing. They want to get to that top spot without putting in the work. And I've always, whether it's come from my family or past coaches I've had, or, my dad, just putting in that work, putting in that time, and people see that, and people, think about you. Even my first taste of high school coaching was with Keith on the freshman level. I was assistant over there. And just getting in the gym with him and, just seeing, because he had already been doing it for a while, picking up things from him, picking up things from my old coaches, staying in the gym, staying knowledgeable of the game, watching the game, listening to other people, listening to my players. So it's just I went to school, had to stop going to school for a second because the money wasn't right and everything. So went home to, kind of get a job so I could pay for it. Went back and caught up and, went through and got my master's and things. So just being a walking example of putting in the work with my players, I'm not only going to preach to you about it at halftime or at the end of the game or whatever, but I'm going to show you, I'm going to be in the gym with you. And I had some good assistant coaches in my high school career, Coach Henderson, Coach Watts, that were great examples of that. They opened the gym for us. They took us to different colleges to play against other players, and just, put us out there for people to see. So I just kind of walk in their footsteps and, and put my little twist on it or, my knowledge on it as well.
Wow. Excellent, man. And everything you were describing, it was very a humbling walk when you talk about, coaching from the elementary level, being an assistant to your buddy when he was the head coach, and also talking about the fact that you had to, take a step away from school. We've all kind of had that experience. You had to step back and come back and be an example. How important is loyalty in the role of being an assistant coach? Because the head coach is probably looking for his new opportunity or to a different, tune or tone of people. But what about the loyalty that relates to being an assistant coach?
It's very important. I try to be a loyal person by nature because you have to be able to trust that coach, when you're not around or when you're working out with the kids. Like KC, he, awesome coach, he brought me on. Like he trusts me. I got the keys to the gym. We go to the gym and work out. The kids are calling my phone. We're up 5 o'clock in the morning or in the evening hours to work out. If when I was with Keith, he kind of a hot head on the side of the court. He might get a couple technicals, and I got to take over, or being able to depend on me as if something comes up, because we all are either work, or some people are fathers or whatever, and you can't make it a practice, and you need somebody to step in for you, and so they just need to be able to trust who they bring along. And that's something that I picked up from them, and just being that trustworthy person that even when I got the middle school job, I don't know if you know or spoke to Ashley James, but when I was thinking of a assistant coach, I'm like, who can I bring on? And I've known her since, middle school, high school. And I know she loves the game. She's very active in the community. And I just know that's a person that, I could depend on if I can't make it, or, I got this engagement, and can you coach this time? Or, I got to go with the varsity. Can you coach? So that is very the parent, I send the parents call her. Like if there's an issue, something they call, I trust her that much. So like you said, the head coaches, they are possibly looking for their next opportunity, or you never know. And so they need someone that can fill in for them, or even with KC, when I came in over to Everett, I interviewed for the freshman job. And based upon my interview, he said he's seen that I wanted to be a head coach, a varsity coach. So he wanted to bring me in under his wing and coach with him there. And then he even gives me, leeway to do some things, the substitutions, the rotations, because he sees I'm in the gym with these guys. I know, and I'm doing what they can do. So he trusts me with that. So it's very important.
Well, shout out to everyone you mentioned. Also, special shout out to Ashley James. I was stepped in to do a middle school coach. I had a 1-day contract, and I ended up going up against her. Now I'm mad that they pulled it out on me, man. But shout out to Ashley.
Yeah,
talk about the player development part and working with the guys, and I know that's a special love for you. But how important is it to be somebody who can work on that player development, which isn't always sexy, which isn't always fun, it's so tedious? How important is that?
It's very important, because you can show them I let them know take advantage of me being willing to open the gym. Like everybody doesn't have access to a gym. We didn't always have access to a gym coming up. And so when you're able to work on your skills in the summertime, in the morning, off season, when it comes to time for those 4 to 5 months in the season time, we can get into whatever we're supposed to be working on, and without having to work on you shooting your free throws or, working on jumpers. That's outside of practice. You should be able to get through it. And so, like I said, we were, that was something we were very big on when we were coming up in middle school and high school, just working on your game in the driveway, playing one-on-one. And so I try to be very active. I play against my players. I compete with them. I want them to be competitive. I like to work out with guys that want to work out. I don't I tell them all the time. I said, I'm not going to set no alarm. I'm going to sleep. I have to work at a certain time. If y'all want to get in the gym, y'all call my phone at 4:35 in the morning. And you know what, man? They call me. They text me, Coach. I wake up to a group chat, and it's like, hey, somebody called him, wake him up. And once I see it, I get up. But it's very important, and then to have kids that want to do it, it makes you want to do it. And so I'll always, even when I can't play anymore, I'll still get in the gym with them. If I got to sit there in the chair and kind of correct them, but the fact that I can get in there and kind of show them is awesome, man.
Yeah, I love that approach, because so many times we find ourselves setting the alarm, getting up, calling them, trying to get them and all that. You say, no, you better call me.
Yeah,
so you put the onus back on them.
Yeah. I even had someone, because there's a certain group of guys, And you can see you can tell the guys that put in the work. You can see it from week to week or year to year. That call me. I want to say not this past season that got cut short, unfortunately, but last year, the 3 to 4 guys that called me the most, got me in the gym. They were all either like all conference, honorable all state. I think it was like Albert Shamar, and then my boy Raekwon, who moved to Battle Creek. Like, he doesn't even go to Everett anymore. And whenever he's in town, hey, coach, I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to get in the gym. You contact me. You know, even though I'm an Everett coach, I'm a Lansing guy. I'm for the community. I'm for the kids. So we getting in the gym. And all of those guys, Jelon Payne, Booter, they hit me up. They were special mention, honorable mention. So you could tell the work they were putting in because it showed throughout the season. And so, you know, like I said, I was about to say, I had someone was like, hey, are you, like, when are you having these workouts? You know, like, are you hitting up certain guys? I'm like, I'm not hitting up anybody. I got to drive to Detroit to get to work every morning.
Right.
I'm not calling nobody to get in no gym. You know, so I said, the guys, they call me. Everybody has my phone number. Everybody has access to me. They asking me now, when can we get in the gym? And you know, I just try to be creative. My cousin, Dante, he works out and does different training. So I'll bring him along to that.
Yep. Shout out to Dante.
Shout out to just get different type of training. So it's, you know, it's a different times, different eras, 2020. So we do different things to stay active, to stay ready for, you know, these different opponents and things. So I love our set of kids over at Everett. They're willing to put it in work.
That's great, man. That's amazing. I think that's a great thing. I want to kind of go back to something we said a little bit earlier. When you talked about Coach Casey Keaton bringing you along and take you under his wing. Is it better to go for a head coaching position or someone requests that you apply for one? You follow what I'm saying? Is it better for you to say, I want to be ambitious and go for this, or just sit and wait to get a call and say, hey, man, we like you for this. We think you should step into it. What do you think about that?
I think you should go for it. If you're ambitious enough to go for it. I was applying. I applied. But, you know, with that interview, he's seen, you know, he got that job and he's seen something in me. You know, I didn't know him. I didn't have a personal relationship with him before that interview. You know, I know of him. You know, I think he may have known of me, but he's seen and he listened to me and he's seen there was something. So I think you should go for it. But then in you going for it, I think some people may be scared not to get. I'm not scared to get rejected. That means I need to work on something, or I need to try again, or I'm gonna go back and put in the work, and I'm gonna come back to you a second time or a third time. There's other jobs around the city that I applied for that I didn't get, you know, for one reason or other. I think one reason I didn't get one job, it was because, you know, we really want our staff to be in the school. Understandable, but you're going to get somebody just because they're in the school and, you know, they might collect an extra check on top of whatever they're getting because they're right there, or you're going to get somebody that's willing to put in the work. Like the money that I get, or even the head coaches get, it doesn't equate to the time that you put in or the work that you put in, especially when you got somebody that's really passionate about it. Like, that's why, like, hats off to Keith. Like, Keith is in there 6 o'clock in the morning, you know, after he's asking guys if they want to get in there, he's getting in there. So that's something that, you know, not necessarily that I picked up, but, you know, I'm with it too. So when he's a head coach, Trey, we in the gym at 6. I'm like, I'm there too. I don't care if I got done working at 11 p.m. last night. You know, I'm there too. Or we going to the track, or we're doing this. So to get that from your coach, it rubs off on your assistant coaches, and it rubs off on your players, and it rubs off on other players. And so, and then even from there, it rubs off on other kids around the city. Like, hey, you know, Shamar them in the gym with Coach Trey, like, hey, you mind if we come get some shots up too? Like, it just rubs off. It makes the competition better. It makes your team better. It makes everyone better. So I think you should go for it, but you shouldn't be afraid to fail. And you shouldn't be afraid to, you know, wait your turn. Some people want to skip the line. You got to put in the work.
Woo. Well, Nippy Hussle say you got to take the stairs, right?
Exactly. Elevator ain't always available.
Right. And to that point, man, just to stay on that for a second with the time that we have, you know, for you, for example, going up against KC for the head coaching position, you didn't get it, and he brought you in. Some people take a mindset that person is your competitor, and they wouldn't want to come up under that person. They wouldn't want to come up under somebody for a job they felt that they were capable of getting, and they may turn that down, or they may put off a vibe that's not what they want. You know, what do you think about people who take that approach?
Like, it's just different. You know, some people cut a little differently or walk a little differently. Like, in the end, they kind of are your competition, but it's a healthy competition. There's things, you know, I'm learning from Casey every day, but there are things that I have in my notebook or in my bag, or that I want to do that, you know, that when I become a head coach, I'm picking from him. I'm picking from this person. You know, I see Coach, like I said, Coach Watson, my assistant coach in high school. I'm looking. I talk to him. You know, when I see him, that once I get into that position, that I still have my own way about doing things. Even though I'm picking from here and I'm picking from there, I still have Trey's style, which is a little different than, Trey, the assistant coach. Because as the assistant coach, your job is a little differently. It might be a little bit of, emotion control. Like, KC yelled at somebody, they walk into the bench kind of tough. I'm kind of telling them, like, hey, man, if you do this, and this, then he leave you in the game. But, you got to have to break it down because they just see, Coach yelling again. Coach,
yeah, I didn't see KC cut it to some cats.
Yeah. So
Coach.
I have to be the mediator or whatever. Or, sometimes, I'm a little cooler with my approach or whatever. And people are like, why don't you be yelling this at that? I said, KC do enough yelling. Keith do enough yelling. If we both yelling, we're not getting through to him. So if they hear yelling from him, I'm going yelling too. So sometimes.
And also to their credit, whether it's a KC, whether it's a Keith, or even a Coach Izzo or someone like that, when they know they have someone like you, they can probably turn it up even more than they would because they know there's going to be a balance,
Exactly.
So with the time I have, what I want to do before we wrap up, definitely want to get your thoughts on what we can do to stay inspired during these times. We have COVID-19. We have civil unrest throughout the country and some parts of the world. But, you have a beautiful portrait behind you of Muhammad Ali. I'm just curious, what's so significant about that portrait of that man? And then maybe you can tell us a little bit more about what you think could be some inspiring words to leave us with.
Okay. Well, with Muhammad, it's just kind of like him, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. It's just greatness. Just seeing him in that moment, celebrating. I love action photos in sports. Like when you're a real sports person, basketball, football, whatever sport, and, some of those moments give you chills when you see it. Just, photos, Jordan hitting a shot, Kobe hitting a shot, just different things. So it's just an inspiring picture when people walk in. People tend to look at it or, pay attention to it when they come in. I got another one, black and white, with Jordan hitting the last shot for the Bulls. But just some things to stay inspired is just think of all I seen something from Deion Sanders earlier this morning. He was like, you can control, how you feel for the most part. If 40% of something is bad, there's still 60% good. And I always lived in the mindset that things that are bad don't tend to always stay that way. I've had some bad times, and you tend to come out of those. And just think about what's going on. Think of the things that you do have that you're blessed. I was talking the other day, and I was just saying, like, even though it's unfortunate what's going on with the COVID and everything, but like for instance myself, I'm still working. I still have income. I still have my health. Still have my family. So, yeah, we've just been shut down for a little bit. Things have been taken away from us. We're privileged to a lot of things. So when they're taken away from us, we kind of react, in a way that, that's not too pretty. So I just try to think of what's coming ahead of this. It's like a wake up as well. Like things can be taken away from you. Things can be shut down. So it should motivate you to be better going forward. If you were hurting this time around because you didn't save your money as well, or this and the third, you weren't too secure in your job or whatever that is, get better the next time around. Like don't sulk about it. I'm an advocate for just getting better or being prepared for what's to come. I'm preparing myself for when I get the opportunity to be someone's head coach, at the varsity level. I'm preparing myself for whatever else is after that. So I'm taking this time to be prepared for that next time. So just think of the things that's to come. It's unfortunate. Like I feel so bad for like my seniors and seniors in college and around the city, and just everywhere that missed out on their last part of their year, or even like people that play baseball that missed out on their entire season. But just think of the things that's coming forward. Think of the things that you've already had and what you can do to make the situation better going forward. So I tend to don't dwell on negative things because it'll get you in the space. And you might be there longer than you want to be there. So I try to focus on the positive and make the best of my day and other people's day. So that's why I try to leave those positive vibes when people come in contact with me.
Wow. That's really inspiring, man. I appreciate you sharing that. What a great message for what's going on right now. Sitting here with Coach Trey Adams, affectionately known as Trey. I know you'll get a lot of calls, but man, I appreciate everything you're doing in the community. I appreciate the friendship we've been able to develop. I appreciate you being part of the pull-up gang when Keith and I would do a podcast.
Oh,
You pull up and help shut it down with us, man. So I want to wish you the best of luck. And not that you're in a rush to take on that head coaching position somewhere, but I know when that happens, it's going to be a benefit to everyone who's involved with you. So thank you.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for having me on. I love what you're doing, man. Like you said, since we met, playing ball and everything, just speaking with you, like, just a dope individual. I think everything you're doing is dope. Keep on going. I wish you nothing but success, man. You're super blessed. So I appreciate you for hitting me up to have me on.
No doubt. My man, Trey Adams in the building, guys. We'll see you guys next time, and thanks for checking in, okay?
All right, man.
Yeah.